Hey, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark Plus Christmas movies.
Do you?
Hey, I'm Ryan, and I like Hallmark Plus Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and do I despise Hallmark Plus Christmas movies? You bet. This is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
How are we? Ryan, you're back. You're back.
I'm here.
How are
I'm
you?
here. I'm great. This is, I think, like I haven't done a ton of like in-season Christmas stuff. It's a big deal.
I got to be honest. We always say Ryan Pappolla is our guy for Hallmark TV shows, Hallmark Plus shows, Star Wars and Fast and Furious, and that has been consistent. Since
the contract is
we said, like, we met with
ironclad.
You. It was 2 hours of negotiations, and we said, you're going to be Hallmark TV, Hallmark Plus.
That's what you're going to be.
Fast and Furious and Star Wars.
That's right.
I'll tell you this real quick. I want to be mindful of the clock here today, but like, listen, all of that's great, but like, if there's, we don't have to lock me into the Hallmark Plus Christmas films. Like, there's always room.
Well, I think
to negotiate on
what's
that.
tough here is you've done one, and
That's right.
so
yeah, you do. You show up to the next Unwrapping. It's a tradition.
There's no way we bring somebody in for Olivia after not seeing Tina. We can't. You could
not, if you don't understand the nuance that is Tina. There's no way you're going to have a prayer understanding Olivia.
You can't do it.
No, I mean, so the train is off the tracks. But no, listen, it's fine. Everything's great.
Everything's fine. It's been a great week.
Great.
Everything's gone according to plan.
We're fine. You might
might
be wondering, can you play Christmas movie magic to the Hallmark Plus Christmas movies? Yeah, you can. It's a
nothing changes.
Great. Nothing changes. It's a wonderful game. We would love for you to get it. People are beginning to get their copies and talking about how amazing it is. And you can get yours too. Join the train, shall you? Deckthehallmark.com/game. You can pick up your copy. And if you've gotten a copy from Amazon, please leave a review. It helps. It helps that.
It does.
People. I don't really know how Amazon works.
No, I don't either. There's some algorithms involved for sure.
But it helps with.
If you're, I will say this: a couple of things. First of all, if we're watching on Philo, where you should be watching, philo.tv/DTH. It's the only place you really can watch this. Right, you are set up in front of quite a display.
Thank you.
And somehow there's a bunch of what I believe are some nostalgic collector's items back there, but also the reflection of a Christmas tree, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow, is that happening? That's great. I put the lights on at the last second. Yeah, this is my office. And
my office.
A tree in here,
It's sheer perfection, right, guys?
It looks really nice.
Done.
It looks really nice.
That's a nice little bonus. I didn't realize that was going to happen. I can't see it on my end. That's great.
I think the other reason we have Rye Guy on for this is because Unwrapping Christmas is so similar to Love Club that if we had Brian on here, it would just be a love fest, and we don't need that.
We don't need that.
We don't need that.
We were Dan and I were talking about this earlier. What are your thoughts on continuing to come on the show, and in exchange for it, instead of paying you hard-earned cash, we buy something 90s related from eBay on your behalf?
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know if you thought that this was like a absurd question, but if I made a list of things that I'm eyeing, which it currently exists, I mean, that's something we could absolutely talk about.
But
both on or offline.
I don't think.
Well, I don't have to 1099 you. I do because we've already paid you some, but I don't have to 1099 you if it's just eBay. You know what I mean? eBay then takes the 1099.
There's tons that I've been buying so much just in the last week alone to fill out my Christmas display, which is also straight ahead off camera. I mean, all those things, like a couple of those things would equal my per episode rate. This is something to consider. Genuinely.
Yeah. And now we're pulling back the curtain.
And that would be great. That would be great with Alyssa, because then I could be like, I'm no longer buying the things. Like I wouldn't be
right.
Like I wouldn't be irresponsible.
Right.
Like,
we're helping you, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is something to ponder. Yeah.
Rye Guy is just, he's loving it.
It's interesting, is all I'm going to say. Hey, let's talk about Unwrapping Christmas, shall we? Unwrapping Christmas, Tina's Miracle. It originally started streaming on Hallmark Plus on November 7th, 2024, and it went a little something like this. We enter All Wrapped Up, a shop that specializes in wrapping presents, with 4 employees. We got Mia, we got Olivia, we got Lily, and of course, Tina. Tina is... Yeah, well, all right, we can chant her name if you want to.
Tina.
I'm on the way. Tina.
Tina is put in charge of the Christmas gala that happens every year. So she's running around trying to gather everything needed for the event. She goes to the store and a girl just starts snapping Polaroid pictures of her. The girl then hands the photos to her father, Michael Alonso, for later. Despite
everything Brandon said is true.
Yeah, despite it being the busy season at All Wrapped Up, Tina spends most of her time working on the gala. She even has a to-do list. Lucky for her, when she drops that to-do list, Michael Alonso is walking right behind her everywhere she goes. And he picks it up, gives it to her, and asks her out. She declines, saying that she's too busy. Okay. Tina goes to check out the venue where the gala is held every year, and there's bad news. It's been sold, and the new people are going to tear it down. She discovers that Michael Alonso is the one responsible for the sale. Apparently, his company used to own the building, and they've sold it. The next day, Michael Alonso visits her shop with his daughter, who snaps another photo of Tina without her consent. He asks her out again, and this time she agrees to meet up because she has something to discuss. She confronts him about the sale of the venue and the fact that it's going to be torn down. Michael says that he'll talk to the buyer. I didn't know about the gala. In my defense, I didn't know about the gala, and I didn't know that it was going to be torn down. But I will talk to him, but only if you come over for dinner to my house that has plastic up for renovations.
And not wearing other skin.
No, it's definitely not a date. Don't worry. She agrees, and when she shows up, his daughter takes yet another picture.
Snap.
That's two pictures. That's right. And it's four. Up to four. We're up to four. If you're keeping track at home.
Snap.
4 photos of Tina. They end up having a great time together, though. They almost kiss, but then Daddy Duty calls. The Daddy Duty is, hey, where are we going to hang up the next 2 pictures? The next day, they do some charity work at a church, and their connection deepens a lot. I was going to say deepens deeply, but let's not do that. Deepens. However, when Michael finds out...
deepens deeply.
When Michael Alonso finds out that Tina has done some research on him, he gets angry. Some recon about this monster. Tina later shows up at his house to apologize, admitting that she was wrong about him. They go out to dinner and share a slow dance in the snow. Meanwhile, Tina is doing some digging and discovers an old deed. Yes!
Oh, thank God.
We love it.
Stop.
Long story short, the house never belonged to Michael Alonso. It actually belonged to the people, which means that it never was his to sell in the first place, so they can take it back. Michael decides, for some reason it's his decision, and he decides to open a school for his daughter in that building. We find out that his daughter is dyslexic, and that is why she takes pictures. And they can hold the gala there in the building. The event goes on off as planned, and they share a kiss. And that, my friends, was Unwrapping Christmas, Tina's Miracle.
Tina.
Let's take a break. We'll come back, and we'll take a picture of you here on Deck the Hallmark.
You didn't tell everybody listening at home around the world that we now have the technology to where if you listened past the break, we've snapped a picture of you in your current state.
Can't smell through the screen yet, but we can take a picture of you via
2029. It's coming.
It's coming, everybody. Yeah. Let's get to our thoughts on this movie. We call this segment the Hot Take. It's where we share exactly how we felt about this movie, and sometimes those thoughts are hot, crazy, out of nowhere. Ryan, what do you think about Unwrapping Christmas, Tina's Miracle?
Yeah, Tina. So just real quick, because, I'm not on here every single week, and I know that some people come in just for the holiday season here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome. We appreciate you. I am a big fan of these films, was before I ever started here on DTH. But for the record, I'm never watching, all 77 of them, right? I'm watching a good amount, more than the average bear, but not every single one. Typically, Unwrapping Christmas, Tina's Miracle probably wouldn't have been on the old Rye Guys list, right? For as big of a fan of the genre as I am. So all of that to say, because I don't want people thinking I'm a poser. I don't want them thinking I'm coming through, unclear eyes, unclear hearts, unclear can't lose.
Can lose.
Can lose. All of that to say that this is an unbelievably strange film. Very, very strange. However, I think I kind of liked it. I didn't think the performances were amazing, but I thought that was the vibe they were going for. I didn't think that the chemistry between the leads was really there, but I don't think I really cared. Everything seemed extremely exaggerated, but that felt like an intentional choice. The worst version of any of these films across the board, from January to December, from the deckies to the deckies, is that they're boring. This film was not good, but it was not boring, and that is my hot take, Bran.
So, friend of the show, Natalie Hall. We love Natalie Hall. Natalie Hall, we would consider her a friend of the show. She's been on.
We love Natalie Hall. We love Natalie Hall.
And, call me crazy, but I was worried for her safety in this movie. It's hard. You see someone on the screen, and they're acting, but then there's also a part of it's like I think Natalie might be in like grave danger, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it made me feel every time this girl came up to her face and took a picture of her. It wasn't charming. If it was supposed to be charming, swing and a miss to the charm scale. On the charm scale. Was that just me? Ryan, did you not find that to be that's in my
wait what? That's in my wait what's. I figured that we would get there before. Yeah, no, that didn't land.
Deeply unsettling.
And it was also Natalie Hall always had to seem like really psyched about it.
Yeah.
Like she felt like a hostage victim.
Yes.
So that stuff didn't land for me.
So that was happening, and Michael Alonso is over there, and he creeps me out. And part of it is like, hey, Dad, here's another picture of Tina, and he puts it in his pocket. It made me uncomfortable. And then like that mixed with the fact that she's supposed to be a 1/4 owner of a wrapping store that she, during the busiest time of the year, is just missing.
Never around.
And that, weirdly enough, I'm going to sound like Brian here, but I kind of want more wrapping store in the next 3 movies. We'll see what happens. We haven't seen Natalie Hall in a while. It's great to see her back on screen. It's always, I think she always gives a solid performance. But overall, this movie was a bit of a miss to me, and part of that was just the fact that I. Listen, you find out that your friend's in danger and your heart's beating and your stomach's dropping and you're waiting for that text that says, I'm okay, I'm good. We haven't got the text. And so I'm still concerned. There's something wrong here. There's something wrong with Michael Alonso and his whole operation. That's all I'm going to say about it. Dano?
As concerned about Raga's hot take, is he being held hostage? Like, are you okay?
I didn't say I thought the film was good. I said I thought the film was not boring.
Yeah, that's enough. This is the worst episode of Dexter I've ever seen. I'm troubled. I'm concerned. I'm also bored. It was not interesting at all to me. Natalie Hall deserves better than this. This movie spares all expense, giving you one of the worst stories I've ever seen. The pictures are unsettling. The leading guy is unsettling. The wrapping store, while actually my feels, which we'll get to, the way it is run and the lack of people there, also very unsettling.
It's not their busy season.
No, it isn't. It's not Christmas. And my thing is this, we've been watching a lot of Hallmark Plus content. And, when you think of Hallmark Plus and a streaming service, when a TV network already shows you 40 movies in 2 months, you think of some stinkers like this. This is what you think of. Like, there's been some stuff on Hallmark Plus. Like, I hear Mistletoe Murders is amazing, and I'm angry because it's like, why did you put that on Hallmark Plus when it could have been on a channel called Hallmark Mystery? Or like Tyler Hines' new movie, or the new Aurora Tea Gardens, or this reality show. Like, all of this is fine, but when I think of Hallmark Plus and having Christmas movie premieres, this is what I think of. This has no business being on terrestrial television. Like, this has no business being on a linear network. This was a Hallmark Plus level budget, a Hallmark Plus level movie, and Natalie Hall is caught in it. And I can only hope the others are better. And Jake Epstein is in one, so that does give me a little bit of hope. But by and large, no. Absolutely not for this. This was a tough watch. I liked all 3 Danube movies more than this movie. Stamp it. Put it on the board.
Put it on the board.
Wow.
That's right.
It's time for all the feels where we talk about what this movie gives feels. Right, guy?
I'd be lying if I told you I had a lot here. I really feel like it's a cop out. We're almost a decade into Deck the Hallmark if you round up. I feel like coming on
You're right.
Yeah, if you round up, I feel like coming in here and saying the set deco is really nice. It's like that's like very year one Deck the Hallmark,
Especially with a movie where the set deck was not nice.
Yeah, exactly. But like, so that's really all I had. The exterior of I think it was the dad's house, kind of sort of looked like the Home Alone house if you squinted.
Okay.
It was like much smaller, and that was the best. Again, I didn't like this film. I just didn't think it was boring, and that's all I had, Brad.
Let's talk about how great of a shop idea All Wrapped Up is. It's a place that you can go and you can get your presents wrapped, but they'll also ship it for you. And also, you can create custom wrapping paper right there in the shop. A wonderful idea for a business. I think Dan and I are considering opening up our own All Wrapped Up franchise.
Yeah.
A wonderful store idea here on the Hallmark Channel, and you love to see that.
And that was
Dano?
mine too. A vertically integrated gift wrapping store where they make the wrapping paper, they ship your gifts, they wrap your gifts. It's an all-in-one situation. And it's a great idea.
When
it's
I saw
a great
Natalie
idea.
Hall put that Polaroid picture down and out came wrapping paper, that's how I imagine people.
I saw Michael Alonso start to salivate.
When you
could put any picture in there?
Any Polaroid? That's how I imagine the cavemen felt when they made the fire for the first time. An amazing feat. An amazing.
It's really
feat.
great. They'll ship your gifts. Do you think they'll ship your pants or not?
Oh man, I ship my pants.
Yeah, I've shipped my pants for sure.
I think you can do that anywhere, anytime. Let's
nicely done.
Let's
take the hot take, right?
That's really good. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll change our pants and we'll do the way we want.
We shipped them. We just need new pants. Come on, man. Don't get your mind. Get your mind out of the gutter. Deck the Hallmark. Tina.
We love Tina. We're just concerned about her. Tina. We're just concerned about Tina.
Yeah.
We love her. Yeah. We're concerned about her.
Yeah.
Let's get to the Wait What and the What the Hallmark. Wait What is where we talk about what this movie made us go, wait what? Ryan, what you got?
So what's going to get lost in the shuffle of how unsettling the whole pictures Polaroid situation is that the teenage girl, we're led to believe that she's like this next great art, like she's an average photographer at best, and Natalie Hall has to keep going, wow, what a picture. Like they're just quick Polaroid snapshots of her face with her no time to prepare. They're not good pictures, and that bothered me. There's a scene at the dinner table where the leads explain they aren't attracted to each other, and then they have to explain chemistry to the kid. And I just thought it was hilarious because like these two have zero chemistry whatsoever, and they're explaining what chemistry is. So I thought that was a fun, really honestly a bit of meta humor from Tina's Miracle here. There's this exchange where I think Tina says to Alonzo, not Duralde, you have your flannel shirt, you're a wood carver. If I didn't know any better, I think you'd own an axe. Now, depending on where you live geographically, and if you are a wood carver, I don't think it would be that far-fetched to think that a human being in that situation owns an axe. I don't like it. Just seems like that's like not like the smoking gun that Tina thought it was. And then last one, there's this, I don't like to talk about like sandwich. There's like the land trust deed situation. Then there's this gift wrapping competition. Brand, I don't know. Did you even mention it in the synopsis?
I don't think you got there.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I was trying to get. We were up against
next Christmas and see what happens.
Yeah, and so here's the thing though. If they talked about it throughout the film, I didn't really catch on. There's like 4 minutes left in the film. They haven't kissed yet. There's still stuff to be resolved. And she's in this gift wrapping competition, and they want to try to make it suspenseful. And to me, the only suspense was like, are we going to finish this film on time?
Yes.
Like, and then she wins, but then we also find out, and again, if they had mentioned this prior, I missed it. She's a 4-time defending champion.
That's right.
It's literally a dynasty.
Yes.
And they wanted me to think that there was any chance that Tina wasn't going to win this gift wrapping competition.
Did you catch, Ryan, if that competition was speed-based, quality-based, or they still don't know?
Wasn't clear to the right guy.
It wasn't clear to any of us because they keep going, time's running out. Oh, that's looking pretty good. Which is it? Does it matter if you finish? Like,
I think it is time, primarily based on time, but if there's a tear, you're disqualified.
So whoever finishes the gift wrapping first, no tears.
Without a tear.
All right. So why did it matter?
It could be terrible.
It could be
job.
terrible, but as long as there's no rip in
you
it.
have to have integrity.
But
You have to
genuinely,
go
did they
into
mention
it
this
with a pure
before?
heart, you know?
Did they mention that at any point in the film before the last 3 minutes of the film? Like,
No. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that she would be the champion because she owns a gift wrapping
She shouldn't be able to compete.
store, but also
honest.
it's weird that she was like 5 for one for the thumb there. Like
it'd be like Michael Jordan winning a pickup tournament.
Yeah,
like, you know,
exactly.
It doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
I have a few. One, her friends are the worst. If you have a friend who, tells you, hey, there's a guy, he has a daughter who continues to take Polaroid pictures of me. I've told him no multiple times. You need to have your friends back. You need to be like, okay, if he comes in here again, we'll tell him to get lost. All of her friends are like, oh, he's cute. He's cute. Just roll the dice. What's the worst that could happen? You die in his house with plastic on the walls? Yes, that's the worst that could happen, and it's pretty darn likely. You gotta be better friends.
The role of best friend being played by Tracy Nolesnick.
You gotta look out for your friends here. You gotta look out for them. Can you imagine? You finally have the girl who you've been trying to kiss for a long time, and she comes over to your house, and you're about to kiss, and your kid goes, "Dad, we're out of toothpaste." And you go, all right, well, that's my call.
That's
I gotta
a
go.
wrap, everybody.
No way. You're yelling,
No.
squeeze the top of it. Squeeze it.
There's
There's always more. You are not being like,
Get a safety pin.
you got to get out of here. You're not handling that well. You're being like,
Colgate.
you kidding me right now? We're out. We're never out.
They're never
There's always more in the tube, kid. Figure it out. If you're old enough to snap a Polaroid, you're old enough to figure that out.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Michael Alonso, she walks into the Michael Alonso's office and everybody's buzzing. And she walks into Michael Alonso's specific office and is like, what's going on out there? It's like, everybody's so happy. And he says, they just received their Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
No, it gets better.
You seem so sad. Go
And
ahead.
then he says,
What does he say?
It's more than they anticipated.
It's more than they anticipated. He seems so sad, as if it was a mistake.
Yes.
As if he said, I exited decimal point, I goofed, and
I gave him thousands more than I was planning to.
So sad.
I mean, there's always more in the tube.
There's always more in the tube.
That's right.
There's not always more in the bank account. And then they are at the house, the estate, and they want to take a picture of the wallpaper so they can make the wallpaper Christmas wrapping paper. And so she says, go take a picture of it with your Polaroid. Make sure the camera's in focus.
No,
The Polaroids are... You can't.
They're known for not needing that.
Yeah, it's the one. It's the one button.
That's right.
One button ad skip
on
Philo.
Philo.tv/DTH.
And it's one button to take a picture. The Polaroid is going to do the best it can with what it has.
One button focus skip.
And that's
right.
all that it can do. Make sure it's in focus. Dana?
Yeah. At one point, the judge comes in with a box of like used
Judge
toys,
Reinhold?
and he goes, "My name is Judge." He goes, "We need to get these overseas ASAP." And we could talk for a half hour about this scene. Why used toys? Typically, you buy new toys to send to people in need. Why do they need to get just overseas? We don't know where, but there has to be an ocean in between the toys here and there. Is she taking this on the chin financially? Is she paying for all the shipment? He doesn't pay her anything. He just shows up and he's like, we need to get these overseas ASAP. And that's the end of the scene, which is wild. Another thing that's wild is the use of the term cease and desist in this movie. I don't think they know what it is, or they're intentionally breaking the law to throw parties. They hear that the place she's going to use for this party has been sold. And then the woman says, it's been sold and we have a wedding coming up. But then after that, it's been sold and we received a cease and desist on parties. And the only way that makes sense is if you heard it's been sold, you know it's been sold, and you go, you know what, screw them. We're throwing bashes here anyway. I know that the thing says that it's not our property anymore, but we're going to throw parties here anyway. That's what we're going to do. We're freewheeling. If you bring the lawyer, bring the man, because I know it's not our property, but we're throwing parties. I don't know why a cease and desist got involved there. That doesn't make any sense. We also have to talk about Christmas trees in this movie, and I need to tell you, Big Johnson, that produced these movies, the Christmas tree is not an all-encompassing Christmas decoration. You cannot look in the cupboard and go, we have no Christmas decorations, but we do have 1,000 Christmas trees, and just put them literally everywhere throughout your movie. In the hallway of the elementary school, there are 5 Christmas trees. I don't know if you ever met a kid. Those Christmas trees don't stand a chance, and there are 5 of them. In the church, in the sanctuary, there are 12 Christmas trees in the sanctuary. There are houses in this woman's dad's house. There are rooms in his house that have 3 Christmas trees in them. It is just like, we got a Christmas tree budget and we got to use all the Christmas trees. Couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that. We also have to talk about this. How old do you think Michael Alonso's daughter is? Just ballpark it.
9.
13, 12.
Okay.
I was guessing around tween age, so 10, 11, 12.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Michael Alonso says that he watches Love Actually with his daughter every year. So, now, I'm not here. Listen, it's a family show. There are I think 9 different stories in Love Actually. There is one of them about adult entertainment. Full stop. And Michael Alonso is watching this movie with his child as a yearly tradition.
Which hasn't started, even if she is 12.
Even if she's 12. It had to say years.
Yeah.
It had to start when she was 8 or 9 years old. And I'm not telling you how to parent, but I am. You can't. What?
In their defense, they don't say Love Actually by name. They say the Keira Knightley Christmas movie. So they could be talking about the 2021 movie Silent Night.
But then they specifically, after that, talk about the scene where Liam Neeson speaks Portuguese
you hate to see
the
that.
woman.
Yeah, they make it pretty clear.
They make it very clear it's Love Actually, and that this dude is sitting down with his daughter, his 8-year-old daughter, to watch Love Actually, and I couldn't get over it. I couldn't get over this. I was like, that's tough. That's a tough one out there. And maybe there are parents that are doing this, and maybe she's wrong.
Maybe she's older.
Maybe she's older.
She is dyslexic.
Yeah. And that brings me to my next one, which is people with dyslexia. I have family and friends with dyslexia, and I also know that accommodations for dyslexia have come a long way. You should hear Henry Winkler's story about this. It is so inspiring. He had dyslexia.
Brian begs to differ. He doesn't think
no,
that.
That's a different.
He doesn't think.
We can get Brian's take later.
I think he's put his take on the show.
There's actually a font, and I've actually been meaning to try this with you because you would say had undiagnosed dyslexia.
I think it's pretty.
There's a font that they've created that people with dyslexia can read and it not cluster or flip on them. And Henry Winkler wrote a kid's book with it to help kids, which is awesome. It's amazing. Dyslexia is not a valid reason to let your child take close-up Polaroids of random strangers whenever she wants. You have to teach your child that there is privacy, and maybe you shouldn't be just snapping pictures of people you don't know to let your dad keep in his weird room. You can't do that. You cannot do that. That is not valid. I'm sorry. You can't do that. Absolutely not. No way, no how. We do get
How pumped was he when he found out his daughter had dyslexia? So he could
just go take pictures of rando girls.
Pictures, and we'll blame it on the dyslexia.
Oh my gosh!
You don't have to ask if you have dyslexia. They'll just let you.
Cool.
I have more, and I know we are up against, but I have more. Her parents used to dance to "Oh Holy Night." That was their song. I have to bring it up. I'm sorry. Can you imagine? Just hanging out and your parents are sitting around and all of a sudden you hear, "Oh, holy," and your parents are they grab each other's hand and they stand up.
Their hands are tied.
What sheltered childhood did you live in? In the restaurants where she talks about "Oh, holy night," he's like, "We need to dance to this right now." And they don't pay the check. And then they walk outside where you cannot hear an acoustic guitar and they dance silently. So the "Oh Holy Night's" been playing inside. He's like, "Let's just dine and dash and go outside and dance to nothing," I guess is what you're saying. And then at some point somebody says, "On behalf of St. Paul and the Twin Cities," that's the same. St. Paul, Minneapolis. So you've already said St. Paul. You don't have to double it. You don't have to double it down. You don't have to say it twice. And that's all I got.
On behalf of Greenville.
That's right.
Yeah.
On behalf of Greenville and GSP.
That's right.
You've already done it. You've already done the thing. All right. I'm done.
It's time for what the Hallmark story wonder what could have been. Maybe have it gives a clarity. Any questions that we still have? What are we still wondering about? I'll start. We do have 3 more films, so we'll see if they get answered. But you go ahead, Rye.
Well, to that point, Mia is next week, correct, Bran?
I think that's right. I think that's right.
Now, I'll be honest, I didn't really commit to memory which lead was who, but as best I could tell, Mia was featured the least of the 4 of them. And you'd think if Mia is indeed next week, you'd think you'd give maybe Mia even just, I don't know, an additional 45 seconds of screen time to set up where we may be going.
The star pairing of this quadrilogy is Cindy Busby and Jake Epstein. They have both had numerous roles on Hallmark in Christmas movies, and they're paired together in a movie. I would assume they're going to be last. And I would assume that so little care is going to be given for the next 2 movies. I get the feeling that installments 2 and 3 are going to be worse than what we just watched.
Do you think if Mia gets married and she has kids, they'll call her Mama Mia?
Wasn't Mia in the Love Club too? Isn't there a Mia in the Love Club? Let's get Brian, our Love Club expert, in here.
Love Club expert, Brian. Yeah, I guess my question is about the school.
No, it's Tara, Lauren, Sydney, and Nicole. Sorry.
It's about the school.
There's a season 2 of Love Club? God, no. Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. There is one. It's coming.
This school, just like he doesn't have a history in education. But he's like, we'll do it. And how does it go?
Good.
How's it go?
Stuff.
How's the school go? Dano?
This guy's declaration of love to this girl he's going to kill / not kill. I don't know. It starts with, "I was thinking about coincidences." And then he basically follows that up with Webster's dictionary, defines coincidences as, and then he reads the definition of coincidences from memory. And is it the worst one we've ever seen? I think it might be. That's my What the Hallmark. Back to you, Brandon.
Fair enough. We did it, everybody. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Tina.
We're going to be back next week with Mia's
Revenge.
What is it?
Points.
Prince?
Prince.
Mamma Mia, here we go again.
Mia's Prince.
Mia's Prince.
Yeah.
Prince, yes.
Yeah, no, it's
One, two.
Tina's Miracle, and I thought it was going to be like another.
Is that like, wait, is that like
Mia's-
related? Because it's the same, it's the Twin Cities, that like a Prince, like Purple Rain
Oh
situation?
wow, that'd be interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just didn't see
Mia's
Prince
Prince.
being.
Mia's Prince.
Prince and the Pauper.
Destiny,
What is it?
Lily's Destiny,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
and Olivia's Reunion.
Ooh, Olivia's Reunion.
I think we should call it Mia's Revenge.
Mia's
I think-
Revenge is
that
great.
sounds better. That sounds better
Sure.
than Mia's Prince.
Mia's
All
Revenge.
right, we did it, everybody. Congratulations to us. We're next time with another one. Until then, we're the first to wish you a
Merry Christmas!
Deck the Hallmarks and Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.